Hi everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we bring you the latest, the most heartwarming, and the most unforgettable stories from the world of your favorite stars. If you're someone who believes in fate, chemistry, and magic that goes beyond the screen, then you're in the right place. Get comfy, grab your favorite drink, and join us as we dive into a story that feels like a modern fairy tale, yet it's all too real. Today, we unravel the breathtaking journey of two extraordinary stars who didn't just act together. They changed the face of Chinese media and inspired millions across the globe. They weren't supposed to become legends. They were simply cast in a drama, an updated version of a classic. But when Wang and Shen Yue stepped into their roles as Dao Mingxi and Dong Shankai in Meteor Garden, something incredible happened. The screen didn't just light up with youthful drama. It blazed with chemistry so powerful, so authentic, that fans across continents were drawn into their orbit. What followed was not just fan obsession. It was a phenomenon. Together, they sparked a movement that would echo throughout the entertainment industry, redefining the power of connection, influence, and authenticity. This is the story of DylShen and Shen Yue, the ultimate power couple who changed Chinese media forever. From the moment their eyes met on screen, fans felt it. It wasn't just acting. There was a subtle electricity in every interaction, every glance. Wang, with his piercing gaze and charismatic presence, perfectly embodied the rebellious yet vulnerable Dao Mingxi. Shen Yue, with her delicate charm and emotional authenticity, brought life to the spirited Dong Shankai. But more than their individual talents, it was the way they fit together that stole hearts. They didn't need grand gestures or over-the-top romance. Their authenticity was their superpower. The success of Meteor Garden wasn't just about ratings or international streams. It was about connection. Audiences in China, the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, and beyond felt a deep emotional pull. DylShen and Shen Yue's performances reminded people what it felt like to fall in love for the first time, to fight for someone you care about, to grow together despite all odds. Social media exploded. Fan edits, interviews, behind-the-scenes moments, all were devoured by millions. The hashtag DylShen Yue trended repeatedly. People weren't just watching a drama, they were witnessing something that felt real. And here's the magic, it was real. Not necessarily a romance in the conventional sense, though fans continue to dream, but a genuine, heartfelt bond between two people who respect, support, and inspire one another. They built a friendship that withstood the pressure of fame. Whether it was the way DylShen looked out for Shen Yue during interviews, or how she giggled at his jokes during off-screen moments, their connection was impossible to fake. And that made them unstoppable. As their popularity soared, Chinese media took notice. Here were two rising stars who didn't conform to the expected mold. DylShen, who had no formal acting training before Meteor Garden, quickly evolved into a leading man with depth and versatility. Shen Yue, often underestimated for her gentle demeanor, proved she could carry powerful roles with emotional weight. Together, they brought in a fresh wave of storytelling, one rooted in emotional truth, raw chemistry, and relatability. Their partnership shattered norms. Previously, Chinese dramas leaned heavily on melodrama, slow pacing, and characters with little chemistry. But DylShen and Shen Yue's work forced a shift. Audiences began demanding more natural dialogue, genuine character growth, and most of all, real chemistry. Their success led to casting changes, production shifts, and even marketing strategies across the industry. Suddenly, authenticity wasn't just appreciated, it was necessary. They didn't stop at acting either. Both stars became fashion icons, brand ambassadors, and magazine favorites. Yet, despite their separate successes, fans always brought them back together. Why? Because the power of DylShen and Shen Yue was never just about what they did individually, it was about the energy they created when side by side. Even when working on separate projects, interviews often came back to Meteor Garden, to that chemistry, to those moments. When asked about each other, their responses were always thoughtful, warm, and slightly mysterious, enough to spark hope but not reveal too much. They never tried to ride the wave of manufactured romance or staged publicity. Everything between them has always felt respectful, organic, and beautifully understated. And that's why their impact runs deeper than drama ratings or social media trends. DylShen and Shen Yue didn't just act out a love story. They embodied a bond that transcended roles and scripts. They redefined what it means to connect, both as actors and as human beings. In an industry often driven by image and strategy, they offered something more powerful: sincerity. Their influence also expanded to international fans. For many outside China, Meteor Garden was their introduction to Chinese dramas. And what an introduction it was. The storyline, infused with modern twists and emotional nuance, brought new viewers into the C-drama world. It opened doors for other actors, new genres, and cross-cultural productions. DylShen and Shen Yue became global ambassadors of Chinese storytelling, drawing in diverse audiences who might never have discovered these stories otherwise. In many ways, they grew up together in front of us. From nervous rookies to confident stars, they navigated fame, criticism, and evolution side by side. They showed us that vulnerability is strength, that chemistry is more than scripted lines, and that even in the spotlight, it's possible to stay grounded and true. Of course, fans still dream. Dream of a surprise reunion, a second drama, perhaps even an unexpected confession one day. And who knows? Life is full of twists, especially when it comes to hearts that once beat in rhythm on screen. Whether or not they become a couple off-screen is secondary to the legacy they've already created. Together, DylShen and Shen Yue changed what it means to be a power couple in the Chinese entertainment world, not through scandal, gossip, or spectacle, but through artistry, respect, and undeniable connection. So here we are, years after Meteor Garden, and the magic hasn't faded. If anything, it's grown stronger, more nostalgic, more meaningful. We remember not just the scenes, but the feelings. Not just the characters, but the energy between two people who, without even trying, became legends. To DylShen and Shen Yue, thank you for showing us that media can be powerful, love can be timeless, and bonds, whether romantic or platonic, can shape an entire industry. Your journey continues to inspire, and we'll be watching, cheering, and hoping with all our hearts. Because some connections don't need labels. They just need truth. And you, DylShen and Shen Yue, you are the truth behind the magic.